Hey guys, welcome back to Visual Effects Artist Reacts. Oh my goodness, if you have seen that D&D movie, you know there's some incredible shots in it.
Oh, here we go! Here we go!
Behold his mighty hand!
How would you part the ocean if you didn't have any computers and you're making a movie in 1956?
Oh, this is kind of cool. Whoa, weird.
What? Also, in the new Thor movie, they shot this entire action sequence at almost 600 frames per second.
This is really cool technology, but I'll be honest, I can't see it in the final product.
Well, then good. That's kind of the point, right?
We got a real spicy episode today. We're gonna jump right in.
Here's the thing. We're a team of thieves.
So you've seen the new Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Yeah.
I have yet to see it.
It's really good.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet either.
You know, like we've been making D&D shows.
Yeah.
You know, we play it a lot. So, you know, there's certain expectations you have going into it, but it's just a great movie. And it's like, it feels as fun as playing the game. It's like the same vibe. They really nailed it. And it looks incredible. And there's tons and tons and tons of crazy VFX in this.
A wild shape is among us.
Is she passing her perception check? Yep, she did.
Yep. She caught the fly. So this is the druid character. It's pretty sweet.
Oh my God, I'm getting Bollywood vibes now. Remember that movie?
Yep.
Oh, what the? Wait, did he polymorph from a fly to a rat?
Oh, that's really cool. That's a great idea.
Actually, yeah, wow.
That's
was
a
pretty
real like
sick.
D&D game idea.
See, this is what I'm saying. This movie is like so dope.
That was cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
Also, this hasn't cut yet. This is all still one take.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Isn't it weird that we've arrived in an era of filmmaking where we have oneers which aren't about not having any cuts? It's not about like, oh, I got a long take. It's more about this real time just playing out of a scene without edits in it. Oh, there's lots of polymorphs going on. Interesting to go to the shadow to like not have to deal with the morph from the cat to the human being.
Yeah.
It's like, let's just pan over here, show the reaction. Need a short rest after that one.
Wait, that was like.
Yeah, you're gonna need a short. Dude, oh, deer drift.
Deer drift!
Oh man, there's a lot of dice rolls they passed right there. There's
Yeah,
a lot of dice rolls.
So like obviously this scene has a ton of CG, but I think there's like two parts in it that I think are kind of clever with kind of blending the two. I think the first one is that moment where it's the mouse sneaking into the suit of armor. So this is full CG here, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's full CG. And then I think there's basically right as they get to the foot of that, that's where it transitions into that practical shot. So if you're shooting this, do you have her in the suit of armor?
I would.
And then paint her out, basically?
Yeah, in the way her face kind of grows into the helmet implies that that's just a kind of a 2D composite effect.
That was what I was thinking. Her face is probably there the whole time, and they just like painted out the face, replaced it with the inside of the helmet, and then just like took a frame of that face and just like shrunk it down.
And you can kind of see it track a little bit weirdly in there. Like right there's a little bobble.
Yeah.
Like it's super minor.
Yeah, so if she's actually in there walking and whatnot, but then, oh, now her face is gone.
Well, it's also transitioning back to the full CG suit in the middle of that run, which is really well done. Like, you don't notice it at all. The transition point is definitely when the helmet gets hit. It's that classic, you know, match cut situation where you have that violent motion that allows you to transfer it to the suit.
Also, that shoulder plate hits the ground and kind of like moves a little weird.
Yeah, you can see it.
It's like it falls down and then they like animate it off to the right.
It's one of those things when the director's like, I want this to go over here. It's like, sir, the physics don't work that way. It's like, screw physics. I'm the director.
I am God. And like, that's my favorite stuff anyways, is when it is feeling like a magic trick. And that sequence does that because you're kind of going, okay, well, hold on. How did we get from A to B? Like, I'm seeing something real. And like, how did you pull that off? And yeah, it's fun and clever. So speaking about, this is also another fun topic. We've covered this next scene here in a variety of different ways. It's one of my personal favorites. Get ready.
Oh, here we go! Here we go! Wait, is that Bradley Cooper?
Yeah.
What the?
So what have you been up to?
There's a little bit of uncanny valley-ness going on here.
I have a feeling that most of this stuff is not actually forced perspective. I think they actually just composited
It looks
these
composited
shots.
to me, yeah.
Yeah, very well. What is comped? Because I think he's sitting on a big chair.
I don't think so.
I think he's sitting on a completely different chair that is not in the shot. I think the actual chair we're looking at is actually on the set with Michelle Rodriguez there.
Well, look at the size of the wood grain. Look at Michelle Rodriguez's chair. Look at the wood grain on that chair. See how it's very big and vague and flat and low contrast? And now look at Bradley Cooper's chair. See, look at the detail on that chair.
No, that's a real chair.
Oh, hello. Who's this then?
Oh, Gwen, this is Holga.
Wait, whoa. Well, that's the shot that we can tell. So look at how her arm is over the chair.
Yeah.
That's a big chair. They're comping her arm over the chair.
Are they?
I think that's a real chair.
I think she's just resting her arm on it.
No.
Yeah, that's a normal sized chair.
No, she's
a normal sized woman.
That's a real chair. And look at her little shadow from her wrist touching the chair. No comp artist would ever just
What?
like,
Let's see. Oh my God, you're right. I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
so those little details, like no comp artist is like, yes, let me comp in the tiny little hair from the corner of her wrist as a shadow.
Maybe there is some insane genius out there who put the little shadow on the chair. But I just feel like if you were to shoot this scene, it would be doing a disservice not to make a big chair and just have him interact with a big chair. This is why I wanted to watch it, though. It's a perfect speculation scene because there's moments where it looks flawless, you know?
Yeah, like this over the shoulder shot.
And
flawless.
it really just comes down to like, what do you think they did to achieve it?
Don't we have the visual effects supervisor from this movie lined up to join us soon?
Yes. Let's get someone from ILM to come here and settle it.
Subscribe if you don't want to miss the follow-up episode where we actually get the answer to our questions.
All right, we're gonna take a real quick break here to talk about Vessi, today's sponsor, a shoe that I wear all the time. In fact, everyone here at the studio wears these shoes. Check out Chase here. He edits all these React episodes. Chase.
What's up, Wren?
Tell me about Vessi. Why do you like Vessi?
They just slide right on and off. Look at this, man.
And he has laces. Jalen, what do you love about Vessi?
Oh, hey, what's up? How you doing? For me, honestly, it's the waterproof.
Fun fact, these shoes are breathable, so your feet don't get wet, even if they're sweaty.
They're bone dry. Smell. And honestly, when you get them dirty, just hose them off. I have about 4 different pairs of Vessis, so I rotate.
Dude,
them.
I also have 4.
Do you actually?
Yeah.
And they're all fashionable and cool.
This is very difficult to do. You're wearing Vessis right now.
Yeah, these are
Look
my
at this.
Everyday classics.
What are these shoes even made out of?
They're made of this patented Diamond Tex material. Keeps your feet warm in the winter and cool in the summer.
Nick, you're even wearing Vessis right now. Look at that.
I am wearing Vessi's.
Stormburst?
Oh yeah, man, these are slip-on hiking boots.
I guess I'm gonna have to have 5 pairs of Vessis because I need to buy this pair of shoes right now. So they're doing a Memorial Day sale right now where you can get up to 30% off. But even if you miss out on that, it's okay because you can always use our code CorridorCrew to get 15% off any new Vessi.
They're super comfy.
All you gotta do is go to the link in the description or just, Vessi.com/CorridorCrew. But in the meantime, I'm gonna go see what kind of stunts Adam Sandler can do in the water. Is he a dolphin?
I got a VFX guessing time for you guys.
Oh, yeah?
I know we kind of said it with D&D, but this is for real because I actually know the answer.
Oh wait, I might know the answer to this too.
This was a recommended sequence for us to look at from one of the previous reacts. Somebody left a comment. So thanks for leaving a comment. Love it when you guys leave comments. Let's check it out.
This is just funny. This is great. That's so well done.
That's really well done.
All right, this came out in 2008. How do you think they did this?
The obvious answer to me is that he's attached to some sort of like robot arm, attached off to the side of a boat, and they're actually like gliding through the water. Because it looks like from chest up, he's definitely real and definitely diving through the water.
Obviously, there's like a camera boat.
Yeah, we see the
Filming.
wake of some sort of boat off to the right of frame
and
there
so
on that
like,
first
why
shot.
not just? There's another boat with the crane arm that's dangling him. You know, it's basically wire work. It's got to be with some paint out.
But how are they doing it so that he's like so cleanly going through the water and out in these very natural arcs?
Pull, let go, pull. It's a thing you have to, work on in time and practice a little bit.
You guys have a bunch of great guesses, and Sam was the closest, actually. What they did is they took a boat, and they built a truss system on it, and then wires came down, and Adam Sandler's being lifted in and out of the water while he does the butterfly. It is basically a 100% practical shot with just the wires and maybe some truss being removed from shots once in a while.
What blows my mind about that is that he's able to actually go through that swimming motion.
Yeah.
And that's actually Adam Sandler in that shot there. So it's not like it's a stunt double. Maybe for some of the wide shots, but like, at least for these close-up ones, that's definitely him doing the stunt.
Yeah, that's good acting. Like, to be doing that much physicality, you're going probably 20 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour in that water. Like, that's a lot of water hitting you.
Yeah.
And still, like, getting the look up, the connection with your eyes, the big breath, so it looks like you're coming after him. Like, that's tough. but I'd assume they probably have a wire on his ankles for some of those close-up shots to get his legs up. And of course, you know, he's probably pinned at the hips. Unfortunately, I don't know. Behind the scenes on this are almost impossible to find. And like Google's gotten so useless these days that I can't find it anymore.
I have a request to anyone who is going to interview Adam Sandler in the future. Please ask him about how they did this shot.
All gods will die.
So next up, we're looking at Thor, Love and Thunder. But this sequence in particular was pretty sweet. I don't want to call it a gimmick, but the whole idea here is that they're on a very tiny moon, and it's rotating, and so the star that's lighting the place is rotating around the planet, and that's changing the shadows on all of these actors.
Wait a minute. So I never saw this movie, but I was reading, I do my reading from time to time. Did they use some crazy like strobe stuff to film this?
Yes, they did, Sam.
And
that's why I want to talk about this. You've got this very complicated choreography between like 3 or 4 different actors. You know, they're moving around, the camera's cutting back and forth between these people. But if you have a light that is moving in the shot, that lighting is now baked into your footage, and you can quickly run into continuity problems.
So basically trying to figure out how can we film something but then change the lighting later to a different angle if we want?
Exactly. And so a company called Satellite Labs developed a system called Plate Light. They filmed on a Phantom Onyx camera, and they shot everything at 576 frames per second. Movies are played back at 24 frames per second. So at 576 frames per second you're recording, every frame has 24 frames that you can pick and choose from. And they have 6 different lights circling the entire set. And each light strobes in sync with the footage that's being recorded. And on set, it's flickering so fast you can't even see it. So it just looks like all the lights are just on all the time. So for every single frame of footage at 24 FPS, they can pick and choose where the lights came from, or combine them, or transfer between them. And that gave them so much flexibility for choosing where the lights were coming from in post.
This is really cool, and really cool technology. But I'll be honest, I can't see it in the final product.
Well, you're not, well then good. That's kind of the point, right?
The light doesn't seem to move.
Because I'm feeling that too, where I want to see more of the dynamic lighting shifts happen.
I agree with you, and who knows why they didn't do that. Maybe the transitioning didn't work quite as well for some of the shots. Maybe it was too distracting.
I think they just like their edge lights too much, you know?
If you're going to develop this incredible rig for doing crazy lighting, I would love to see it featured. I'd love to see the light truly circling around the characters, but it's so subtle.
It's like super, super impressive stuff to orchestrate and set this whole rig up. But, you know, it definitely feels like one of those things where it's definitely more on the filmmaker side of things, of like making their lives easier versus making an image that's a little more exciting.
Well, the thing that they were trying to fight against is having the bland sort of look that you typically see in a lot of superhero movies these days, because, you know, so much of this stuff is going to be changed after the fact, and they don't want to have any of this baked in. And if, let's say, okay, they need to relight Chris Hemsworth. They have to relight him. In a traditional workflow, you would have to literally create a digital twin of him and track it to the actual actor, so that then you can add a CG light onto the digi-double that then you put on top of the footage. And that takes a lot of time, and it's very expensive to do, and it's hard, and it doesn't always work that well.
I totally get that. But, here's the crazy thing. All the technology and all the work to let them do lighting from different angles in this film, in the years since this film has been made, which is what, like 2 years, 3 years? There's now automatic AI-generated normal maps in DaVinci Resolve where you can just relight your characters.
Yeah, and it's really easy to do, it looks like. You literally make a node, a relight node, and then you put these little CG lights in your scene, and it's not flawless, but it's a lot better and a lot faster than doing it all by hand.
And it's just interesting to see like how much work had to go into getting the ability to do that here, and in just this short span of time, it is literally a node in a free software program.
But also, I don't think the normal map approach is that good at doing behind the actor
You're right,
lighting.
it's not.
There is one shot I want to look at real quick though. See that light going up on his face there?
Yeah, from the hammer.
The light is very much so coming from the left, and they're able to synchronize between the two. But then as the light of the hammer is coming up, it's illuminating his face realistically and his whole chest realistically because they actually got that light, and they're able to extract that just for that little bit of time. Now, like you're saying, with the AI relighting stuff in DaVinci now, it can do that. But can it do it at the level of quality that blockbuster films hold themselves to these days?
It's a good question.
And this is also like, I think the first feature film that they use this tech on. And you know, this is a Marvel movie. It's a very, very large ship with a lot of chefs in the kitchen. You know, it's like, who knows how much of the original vision for using this system really ended up being able to be used at the end of the day.
I'm glad they're starting down this path of like synced up lights, because I could see it having a ton of power in the future and opening a bunch of like creative possibilities.
Yeah. Also, fun fact, you guys know Fenner, he actually worked on this sequence.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but because he's under NDA, he couldn't talk about it. But I'm not under NDA.
All right, I love old effects back before computers existed. It's like when you see a magician do a trick in front of you live and there's nothing between you and them but the air and the photons.
It's one of the most mind-blowing things.
Yes.
What?
That's how I feel about old films. So let's take a look at some very high effort effects from 1956.
After this day, you shall see his chariots no more. No!
All right,
Dang.
so right off the bat, what is that background?
Yeah, it's very spooky, stormy.
Is that a rear projection background?
I think that's rear projection.
Okay, because it's like, there's definitely no matting.
But look at this.
Oh, that's fun. Oh, this is kind of cool. Whoa, weird.
What? Now, is that just a bunch of like smoke and a very powerful vacuum behind a
I
bunch
don't
of
know.
water and a pool? Oh, it looked like that water was going backwards.
This is cool.
Yep, definitely backwards rushing water. Oh,
Wow, whoa, whoa.
Pretty damn impressive for 1956. How do you guys think they got those water elements on the side? What are we looking at there? Is that a jacuzzi?
It's like a jacuzzi, yeah.
yeah. But this one
See how
looks
it's closed?
weird.
Yeah, how do you think they got that element there? Because one thing like, oh yeah, they counted an element. It was like, well yeah, but they had to get that element.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's
Did
what,
they
like,
just go to a waterfall and film it?
They're basically custom made waterfalls.
Yeah.
So what they basically have is the water's going on the slick surface and it's hitting the actual tank of water, causing it to bubble and froth, and then it's flowing off again.
it's almost got like a laminar flow to it, and that's helping it get underneath the water and causing that turbulence in that sort of weird, unnatural way.
Yep.
It's not like they just pointed a camera at a hot tub.
Yep, and then it still has a waterfall edge to it beyond that, so it bubbles up and then flows again, which gives you this weird effect of like the water coming sideways and then rising up out of the way. This is how they opened it, and they played this backwards. And now it's the feathered element that you saw. Super cool.
Hell yeah, that's great.
There is still compositing happening. It's somebody taking like, okay, I got water element 1, water element 2, background element, put them all together and have animators paint the transitions. Like the actual effects part is basic these days, right? It's a couple masks and like 3 or 4 elements.
Yeah.
But you have to get the elements, and that's not basic at all. You have to film the actual water doing these actual things. You have to film the crowds. You have to film the incredible like valley that they walk through. This is back in the day when like filming this stuff was hard. Now we can generate those elements, you know, versus filming the elements. Oh, and don't forget, it doesn't just stay open.
Oh man, dude, those people,
They're getting dumped.
Moses, man.
Yeah,
wait,
dump 'em.
Wait, is that blue screen behind the water? The big splash? I'm looking at blue coloring through the water.
It does look like blue screen, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that's blue screen.
This might be blue screen.
And that's just for like the rock element there in the front and what looks like a separate element of a whole bunch of people behind them, and then a far element, which is probably just like a matte painting.
Yeah.
Dang. 10 Commandments.
Back when they cast a bunch of white actors to play Egyptians.
Well, I guess not much has changed.
Still dealing with that problem.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoy these episodes, we have extended ones on corridordigital.com, and it's ad-free. And you can put it on your TV. We have TV apps now.
This is going to be a nice, long, extended version too, so sign up. You can get a free trial.